New Capcom and Namco Legacies iiRcade Gold ships to a select few, and an Arcade 1-Up prototype you almost saw. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Another episode of This Week, the show where we talk about what happened last week, and we look forward to what is going to happen, we think, next week. How's everybody doing tonight? Okay, it's been a little bit crazy. It's a little bit crazy with the live stream yesterday. Man, I tell you what, that was a lot of fun. There was a lot of prep there was some prep on my part. There was a lot of prep on other people's parts, but that was really, really fun. I had a great time with that. But before we get into some of those details, let's talk about the poll that is in the live chat. So here's the question for today, tying into one of the topics we're going to talk about tonight. The question is simply this: based on what you know right now, which Capcom legacy would you most likely buy? Not that you're necessarily going to buy it, but if you were, maybe on the fence, which one would you pick? You've got three options: Yoga Flame, the Shinku Hadouken, and of course, neither. It was requested that I add neither in there, so I gave you that third option because I also want to gauge maybe how much excitement people have for this cabinet. I think there's a bunch of different reasons why maybe you wouldn't be that excited. 31 votes so far. Make sure you let your voice be heard in that poll. Thanks for the 31 that we've already voted. We're going to talk about that in a little more detail. I want to get into the ins and outs of that. It's a complex issue. And based on something I just noticed yesterday, it's getting a little more complicated. Tonight, the drink that I'm drinking. I don't know what you're drinking, but I'm drinking bourbon. And we're having Elijah Craig's, the small batch, 1789. This is a pretty good one. It's a little higher proof than actually it's a little more alcohol by volume than I'm usually drinking. I'm usually drinking like the Jeffersons at like a 41%. This is 47. So might be an interesting night. Might be an interesting night. But it was an interesting day yesterday for sure. I wanted to bring you up to speed on the Red Cross goal. That was where everybody could just donate directly to the Red Cross, the campaign that Arcade 1-Up was having. We had those QR codes up in the corner. And you know what? I will throw it up again real quick for those that maybe didn't have a chance to. If you want to, you can just take your cell phone, open up the camera app, and you can click on that. You can donate if you feel led. I'm sure a bunch of you already did because what I want to show you is the current total. So we ended, what was that? We ended yesterday after all the streams at like I think we surpassed 4,000. We got to like 4,300. We got to about 4,300. What we ended up with today is a little bit different. It actually bumped up just a little bit. Let me show you what we got here. You're looking at 46.15 or 46, I guess 40, 99 cents. I guess somebody donated 99 cents. I don't know how it rounded that, but there you go. That's where we're sitting at 46.15.99. So I think it was a damn good day. Really was a damn good day for everybody. I mean, for the community who got some smoking deals on some cabinets, and for the Red Cross who got some great donations. Really good. So yeah, the QR code, I'm gonna leave it up there for a little bit. I don't want it to interfere with all the graphics tonight. I think we had a lot of opportunities, but I wanted to give everybody just another chance if you wanted to jump in and donate for sure. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about, but I want to say hi to the most important part of the show, and that is the chat. Let me scroll up to the top here. What's going on? Oh, this is my guy here. Always commenting early. This was he dropped this one at noon today. The 2 Mile Arcade. Hey, Battle, which one of the Street Fighter 35 anniversary are you picking up? For me, it's a no-brainer. It's going to be the Capcom Legacy Shinku Hadouken because it looks like the arcade version. I'm going to give you my thoughts about that a little bit later, but good to know that now this, this is your fault. I had to go back, shut down that poll, and add it, but Goofy, you had a good point. I needed to add that neither. So the neither is in there for those who aren't going to buy it. A faux show. David Phillips says, howdy all. Hey, 19K. Cheers. Cheers to you. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for stopping by. And thanks for the growth, guys. I picked up a couple subscribers from last night. It was really awesome. Really warms my heart to see that. And subsequently, it's kind of pushing us closer to 5K. So we're on the road to 5K. We're just a couple hundred away from 5K. That's a really awesome milestone for this little channel, and I really appreciate everybody. And if you happen to be watching this stream and you haven't subscribed, give it some thought. And if you maybe check out some other videos, and if you like them, subscribe. I appreciate it. Costs you nothing, but it really helps out the channel for sure. Anthony says, "Is this a shirts on stream?" Yes. Yes. Tonight we're going to remain clothed. That was that was like a one-shot deal. It was only because I had everybody else suckered into it. So it was kind of funny. There's a couple that weren't real happy with me about that, but that was good. Dan Z says, "Hello, Fox. How you doing? Welcome to the show, Ranger 44. How the hell are you?" Sam Elliott is your icon. I absolutely love that. C. Blair, $100 in super chats and 19K. We'll go top off again. No. Tell you what, give your money to the Red Cross. I can't. That's like a Christmas thing. We'll wait till Christmas to take clothes off again. That makes sense, right? If you don't think about it, it's kind of messed up. Zero Hero, what's up, man? How the hell are you? Good to see you. Formula Fox says so. K Fox, don't suppose that you can give us the skinny on what the online sale prices were now that the said sale is over. I think what you saw in the community post of one console fanboy is accurate. So I actually gave somebody else a plug. But yeah, if you look at the community post of what he posted, it was accurate. Not complete in its totality. It didn't include everything, but those prices were accurate. Now, I will say this. I got a little bit of behind the scenes, okay? There was a bigger list, a more comprehensive list. John D was trying to get as much as he possibly could for as cheap as he possibly could. But, he's got to go back to the big wigs and he's got to make that, he's got to broker that deal. And so the list was, bigger. It got a little smaller. The discounts were not as good, but he got them deeper. So better discounts, fewer items, but it was really pretty cool to be a part of that kind of behind the scenes. A lot of stuff I can't talk about. There is one little thing that I'm going to talk about tonight. It's actually one of the topics straight up on the channel. I wanted to talk about this because it's like one of those things. It's like I called it. We'll talk about it in a minute. But yeah, that's unfortunately that's about as good as I can get. Formula Fox. Jeffrey Rodriguez. Good evening to you. How you doing, Mister Closes? We'll go with that. Great day yesterday. What are we drinking tonight? We are drinking Elijah Craig small batch. Just got a bottle today. It was actually on sale. It was a really good sale. So I thought, you know what? Why not? We usually go with the Jeffersons, but Elijah Craig, this is a little stouter with that higher alcohol content. But hey, it's not necessarily a bad thing. So that's what I'm drinking. Let me know in the comment section, what are you drinking, buddy? A-Tran Fanatic says, I tried to watch the charity streams post, but got bored and ran out of time. LOL. Why? You didn't have 8 hours to spend? Listen, it's all in good fun, and I understand. I don't think you're going to hurt anybody's feelings by not constantly, rewatching everything. Just watch mine. Nobody else is mattered anyway. Just watch mine. Nooner says, piqued my interest with that Pong Pug table. What's going on with that picture in the thumbnail of this video? I'm gonna let you know. Endless One Up, the man that captured that video and added the little Sharon Peters. That was good. That was really good. Definitely endlessly memeable. That little exchange with John D was for sure. Mike Hawkhurts, I went in on the Big Blue Reservation and wasn't planning to. I like the new Shinku Hadouken, but we'll be happier with the Big Blue. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. That's a good direct comparison for sure. That's a very good direct comparison. Devastator Omega, you left out a few vowels, but I think that's what you were trying to do there. Waiting on that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 arcade. Second one, the second one, it goes on sale. I'm getting one as soon as it goes. I like just instantly. He is going to be all over it. I'm going to tell you right now, love the icon. Dallas Cowboys, I hear you. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I hope that's what that is. But all that I know for sure, guys, and I'm being honest with you right now, there's a lot of stuff I can't tell you, but this is one thing that I can tell you. I have no other sliver of information in regards to that game other than that GameFly leak. That's it. That is all I got. All I got is what you see. Whereas I think I already have it pulled up. Yeah, right here. This is all I have. I have nothing else to confirm this. Down there in red, Marvel versus Capcom 2. Just nothing. That's it. That's it. That's all we got. That's all we got, kids. Can't do any more. So we'll see. We'll see. Damn it. I hope it works out, though. Really hope it works out. Oh, the chat jumped. Let me scroll back up. I got to say hi to a few more people. Where did it go? Miss Janine. I said, there you are. Miss Harris, how are you? I really enjoyed yesterday, and y'all talk. You're taking your shirts off. Listen, it was for a good cause, and we have no morals, evidently. Giovanni Castaldo. I hope I said that correctly. Sup, Foxy? How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Big Reese, my brother from down under. How the hell are you? Hey, hey, with the clink, clink of the glasses. Saw your video, buddy. Interesting. If you want to know a theory about the games that are coming on the Time Crisis cabinet, check out Big Reese's channel. He's got a scoop. He's got a little bit of he's got some intel that he wants to share with you. And my buddy has something he wants to share with all of us. It's a $5 super chat from Ezekiel, the Chicago Retro Ranger new poll. Would you like to see 90K? This is not going away, is it? It's not going away. Would you like to see 90K without a shirt? Option to answer 1 for yes, 2 for hell yes, 3 for oh God yes. Please, there has to be a 4 for no. Thank you so much for the super chat, and I'm not living that down anytime soon. And buddy, well, you know what I got for you. Here you go.
Can't you do any better?
Thanks so much for the $5 super chat. Hey, Bozo Calvin Jr., how the hell are you, man? Yo, 19K Fox, loving my new updates to my Tron. Yes, check out Bozo's channel. He's digging his Tron, and the thing looks great. He's got a couple updates to it. Check out his channel. Check out that cabinet. It is phenomenal. Big Jim Cruz, stop, man. All right. I appreciate the sentiment, but we don't need to put others down to lift me up. Because, well, I mean, unless I got to take my shirt off, then that's a little bit different. No, that's. I appreciate the compliment, man. I appreciate it. Walter Harris says everybody is probably still over at Kong Stream. I have that going on my phone and this on my computer. Is the old one, the old stream, I guess. Is he streaming now? Is he streaming now? What are you talking about? Let me see. Let me go over there. Is he streaming? No, he should be streaming now, is he? Let me just double check. You got me confused, man. You got me curious. If he's streaming now, am I missing something? No, you must be watching the replay. Yeah, you're watching the replay. Okay. I'm like, what? What am I missing? I can't miss out on this stuff. What's going on? I knew there must have been something going on if he was streaming. Papa, cheers, buddy. Cheers. I'm giving a little arcade love today. Gotta hang out for me. Let me know what you think. Great stream yesterday, Fox. Thank you from David Gilbert. Thank you so much. And we got what my buddy again with the $4.99 super chat from the Ezekiel Chicago Retro Ranger Fox. Can you remind the chat about the 5K giveaway? Cheers. Absolutely. Ezekiel has volunteered to give away an item. I'm not going to hold him to what he said, but he's going to give away a cabinet. I believe you're going to have to remind me of what you volunteered to give away when I hit 5K. It was very generous. I was not going to hold you to it, but put it in the chat. Remind the folks at home what you were going to give the chat. Whenever it's generous, but I mean, I wish you would keep those things for yourself, but I appreciate it because this channel doesn't grow without all y'all and without that kind of support. And it's freaking awesome. I really do appreciate it. And I hope you appreciate this. Herb War says, "What's up, everyone? How are you? How the hell are you, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by." Hi, Wave Fox. And then is that a glass? Is that a glass with a single ice cube? There you go, buddy. Albert, thanks for stopping by, buddy. Yeah, I wish that was that. Okay, so on my stream, that was on the list. I was going to have all 4 of the 2-player countercades, but unfortunately that one got cut. So I think it probably, I don't have the old list, but I think it was probably down to the quantity. Some of the quantities were pretty low. I had over 100 of the NBA jams, but I had less than 100 on the other two that I gave away. I think that's probably why Turtles got cut. So that kind of sucks. But hey, Sir Sega, what's up? How you doing? Thanks for stopping by, man. Mr. Kefla? Okay. Okay. Hey, how you doing? Let me roll down here. Let me stroll down here because I got another $5 super chat from Hobby Hands. Thanks, man. And he says, did not know if anyone would be streaming today. I watched the entire stream yesterday and slept today. I put it in for Big Blue and Galaga and Pong. Awesome. Hope you get those. You're going to be happy when you get that email invoice saying, hey, this is all you owe for all that stuff. So I'm glad. Yeah, I didn't cancel my show. I wanted to keep it going. I wanted to be able to kind of recap and talk about some things that then I didn't get a chance to talk about throughout the week. I don't do a lot of videos during the week because I travel for work. So when I come home, I want to kind of recap some of the stuff that happened. Hence the name of the show this week. So yeah. So I wanted to keep it going. I want to do this show unless I'm just like completely sick or it's impossible to get to any kind of a computation device. We're going to keep this show going every Sunday night for sure. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it. But you know what? Unfortunately, you got to go to the pit.
Finish him. Melina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Hobby Hands, it had to be done. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. It had to be done. Seablur for another $5 says, appreciate all involved in yesterday's event. Great calls, great laughs, great deals. And it was great to have everybody participate at that level. It was really awesome. We had about 1,100 to 1,200 people from stream to stream to stream. The crowd just moved. It was awesome. You got to experience kind of everybody in the community. Maybe not everybody, but a decent sample of the community, the home arcade community. And it was really cool. It was really cool to kind of have that changeover, the handoff, like a rally race, the baton went from one stream to the other. It was really cool. I was blessed to be a part of it. It was really cool. Really cool. How many times can you say really cool? But it was fun. And thank you for being a part of it. And thank you for the $5 super chat. And you know what? I'm going to give you something special, near and dear to my heart. Here you go, Seablur. Hobby Hands for another $2 says, see other super chat. I made I made room for 5 more cabs. Oh boy. You made room for 5 more cabs. Well, that's good because you got them coming, don't you, buddy? I think that's what you were saying. Yeah, I'm referencing your other one. Yeah. Listen, if you don't have Big Blue yet, I will say it all day long. I was one of the ones that was kind of giving Big Blue a hard time because we saw those renders. I'm like, this is going to be, it sucks. It looks ugly. I was wrong because I really like it. It was one of the precursors, right? The first, online fighting game compatible collections. You had the Marvel versus Capcom, right? But that was very similar to a Legacy with Wi-Fi. That was sort of the one that kind of kicked it all off. So now the Legacies are catching up to Big Blue. It was the first, and it won't be the last. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat, man. I really appreciate it. And Chun Li says hi. Giovanni Castaldo for $1.99 says, can you confirm Big Blue $149 plus shipping? No, I can't confirm that's the price plus shipping. I can't confirm that at all. Sorry, but I can't confirm it. Can't confirm it at all. It's out of my hands. It's impossible. The confirmation process cannot be confirmed by me. That didn't make any sense. PW, you are absolutely right. Listen, that's gonna be a lot of fun. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Live streaming that bad boy, playing through the whole game. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I love that game, and I look forward to sharing my love for the game with y'all because it's actually a really deep game. I know it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up, but it's a deep game. Your move set completely changes when you pick up a weapon, when you lose your primary weapon. It's fun, and all the characters are very different. And it's Alien and Predator. I mean, come on, what it's like a success. It just writes itself. And Arnold Schwarzenegger's in there. It's crazy. So yeah, so we said hi to the chat. We talked about the poll. I got the drink in my hand. I hope that you have your drink in your hand. So why don't we sort of slide on over to the first topic? New legacies, old shapes. That's kind of what we're talking about tonight when it comes to these new legacies. Now, we're talking about we're going to start with the recycled one from the bunch, really, truly recycled. They're both recycled. They're using some other cabinet shape, but the first one is the worst offender. We're talking about, of course, Miss Pac-Man, the legacy that was rumored, it was teased, it was leaked, and then it was removed from the website. It's back. It's available for pre-order. And here it is. I wanted to bring this. I'm going to go ahead and drop the Red Cross donation overlay. Everybody, hope you had a chance to donate if you wanted, but we're going to go ahead and take that down so that we can kind of focus on the nuts and bolts, the nitty gritty, the stuff we really want to focus on tonight. And it's going to be the games list versus what we already have, right? And so if you're talking about a 14 game list, you have to compare this to the other Pac-Man legacy coming out, the other Namco legacy coming out in the series. Miss Pac-Man holds a special place in a lot of people's hearts. My heart, your heart, a lot of people, it's nice to see this cabinet out. I like the way this looks as far as the colors. The artwork is really cool. But, we're also talking about a really, in my opinion, a really tired cab design. This has been going on for quite some time. And, Arcade 1-Up, unfortunately, they just continue to sort of, spit this out over and over again when you're talking about a Pac-Man machine. That's why I think that while it may not be the most beloved game in the Pac-Man franchise, the Pac-Mania cabinet on the right was just like a breath of fresh air because I like new shapes. I wasn't always of this mind. I used to be sort of, hey, I want all my cabinets to kind of be the same shape, uniformity in my arcade, but that's lame. It really was when I started to mix it up and get different cabinets in my arcade. I'm like, that's right. This is what an arcade really used to look like back in the day. Different weird shapes and all kind of stuff. Yes, Fire Starter X. You're right on the money. You are right on the money. So when they came out with the Miss Pac-Man, it was kind of disappointing to see that old shape again. A different games list. It's up to you to decide if it's better or not. We talked about this before on another stream with Dragon Buster and King of Balloon. Definitely a unique, not unique, but it is a different sort of games list. But like everybody, it's kind of one of those things you're pointing out. It's not gonna have Pac-Man, so it's fine. I mean, I guess it's just never going to happen ever. I'm sure. Is it a contractual thing? Is there some kind of a licensing thing, or is it just Arcade 1-Up saying, no, we're not gonna give them both in the same cabinet. You're gonna have to pick between one or the other, and that's fine. That's fine. Whatever. But I tend to like the one on the right a little bit more. I like Miss Pac-Man, but I'm not that big into it for sure. So it is what it is. But here's your cabinet. Here are the games list. I wanted to briefly touch on this because we did talk about this before, but this was officially announced, official. So it's on the website. If you want to check that out, you definitely can check it out and pre-order that. We got a $5, $4.99 super chat from Console Fanboy. Sorry about the shameless plug, but I wanted to give you and your subs a chance to win Amazon gift cards after your show. They'll have to beat me at Mortal Kombat, though. Listen, Console Fanboy, you already got a plug tonight. I told them that if they wanted to know about the price list, they should probably check out your community post so that you could be blamed for whatever information was leaked out there. But there you go. Shameless plug again. 2, the first one you got for free. He had to pay for the second one, though, didn't he? Yes, he did. Thanks for the $5 super chat, buddy. I appreciate it. And here you go.
Finish him. Squad wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Okay, P-Dubs, I know you're still here. This guy. Only game lamer than AVP is Cubert. That's just mean-spirited. And it hurts. I'll cry after the show. But what I'm not going to cry about is the fact that we got these new Capcom Legacies. And I think, listen, I wasn't digging the shape. I really wasn't. I like the shape on the Midway cabinet, the MK30th. I have that one. It's really comfortable. It really is. So, I mean, I like the way that comes together. I absolutely love. I was pleasantly surprised by that gorgeous marquee. I mean, it was phenomenal. If you go back and look at my video, I compare the stock T2 with that new Mortal Kombat marquee, and the material is just phenomenal. It looks really good. The colors are great. So I like that cabinet, those games in that cabinet. Boom. Got to work on that screen. That video is going to be coming soon. But for the most part, great cabinet. When they re-release it, they brought it out again, but now we got Capcom on it. It's a little weird. So here is the official, the two versions out, pulled from the Arcade One Up website, so you know this is going to be accurate. Here you go. So we had the Yoga Flame leaked earlier, and we talked about that a lot. We didn't really know what the Shinku Hadouken was going to look like, but there it is, blue. There is a standout feature, I think, on this. And we're going to talk about the T molding in a minute, because maybe no one else is passionate about it as I am. Maybe no one else thinks that we really need blue T molding on the cabinet on your left. But before we get to that, let's talk about that control panel. Look at I mean, that just looks awesome. They tried to sort of simulate the waterfall control panel. If you look at the picture on the left, you got sort of the control panel graphic sort of continuing right down the front. It is broken up by some of that black T molding or edge banding, but beyond that, it looks. I mean, it's a cool effect. It looks good. It looks a little bit better, in my opinion, than the Yoga Flame on the right. I don't mind the black and white, scuffed up graphic. That's standard Capcom. It's been there forever. But I mean, I got to say, and I always thought that I was going to like the blue better, but I really do like the Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo version much better. The Shinku Hadouken looks really good, but it needs that blue T molding. We're going to talk about that. There's a very specific place that I really think it needs it. It really needs that to sort of break things up and stand out. Because when you have the blue and the black, to me, it's just a little plain. It's a little plain. When you look to the one on the right, you look at the Yoga Flame, it is decked out with that red trim. But here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. Just from the design, right? We're going to get into the nuts and bolts in the games in just a second. But if you just sort of step back and you've got the Yoga Flame edition, it's got the midway shape. And if you just got the MK30th, I mean, don't put these things right next to each other. They're going to look damn near identical, especially when you can't see that side art fully because they're going to be next to each other, right? We always talk about that. These things are going to be next to each other. It's just a damn shame because I really think it was sort of a miss. Now, the artwork on the side is going to be kind of up to you, right? If you're into that, if you like that, fine. It doesn't really bother me because, I mean, John D said this. Other people have said it. The arcades in the past, they really were just black with like a single sticker on the side, and that was it. They were fairly generic. Capcom kind of had a shape, but Midway was definitely known more predominantly for their shapes. But this is it. I think right now, just at this picture, just looking at this, I would definitely go for the Shinku Hadouken. But as we all know, the story doesn't quite end there. I didn't really pick up on this at first when the listing came out, and then we saw, we saw the leak, and then we saw the actual official Yoga Flame listing come out. Then we had the Shop Hippo listing for the Shinku Hadouken version, and they both came out. And I didn't really think too much of it all. I didn't look at it really close. We had a lot of stuff going on yesterday. And Jason with the Third Floor Arcade says, 19K Fox, what's up, brother? Great job yesterday. Thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate it. Also, my parents built this country. I feel like I'm right in the middle of another conversation. But thanks for stopping by, Michael B. Good luck with whatever it is you're doing. Whatever you're doing. So you got just overall the look. I'm leaning towards the blue one, right? Because the red one just looks like MK. Now let's look at these games. This is the first thing that separates it besides just the look. Now, when I had Bill on my stream, he was the one that actually broke Bill's Retro Game Show, I believe is the name of his channel. He actually broke the news. He had the actual images of the Yoga Flame edition. They popped up on the website, RK1's website, for a minute, and then they just disappeared. So he had those images. So we talked about all this, and we thought, listen, when we see the Shinku Hadouken, it's going to be the same thing, same cabinet. It's just going to be a different color. We thought blue. Of course, we were right. There's more to it. So this is the first difference. As you look down this games list, it's everything that we saw before. But the leak version of the Yoga Flame had Street Fighter as that fourth game, or the fifth game. If you look down the list, the fifth game, I've got two different games there, one in blue, one in red. Now, that an original leak was Street Fighter was the fifth game. That's not the case anymore. What we have now is, if you get the Yoga Flame edition, you're going to get Strider as your fifth game. This is based on what I've seen from RK1up's website. If you go with the Shinku Hadouken version, you're going to get the original Street Fighter. And yes, that game sucks. It's not fun at all. Not even close. That's why no one cares about it. They always talk about Street Fighter 2 because it's a far superior game. But you're looking at, that's kind of a big deal. And here's why. You've already got three fighters right off the bat, right? Right up top, you got them. Those are the Street Fighter 2 games that everybody loves anyway. So that's kind of you're gonna scratch that itch right off the bat. When it came to, by the time you went down the list of Street Fighter, you're like, it's almost a throwaway game at that point. It's kind of sad because we were all hyped about the 14 games. Strider is something completely different. Strider is a great platformer. It really is a great platformer. It's one that I like a lot, and I was happy to see. But it's going to be on the Yoga Flame. But I don't want that one. I want Strider. I want that games list. I still get my fighters. I still got my Captain Commando, which is going to be just dope. Armored Core is going to be awesome. Final Fight's back. It's really good. Everything in yellow, the new games that they added, they're all really good games. I really like this list. I wasn't going to go for one, but when I saw the Shinku Hadouken version, I'm like, wow, that's, I really like the way that looks. And it's blue. And if I happen to put that next to my MK30th, it's blue. It really stands out. Love the waterfall design, mimicking the waterfall design for the control panel. That looks freaking awesome. Looks really nice. But we got this discrepancy now. But the red one has the game I want. I really want Strider. I don't know why they have Street Fighter on here. I don't know why you would want to separate these two by a game. I mean, one is listen, this is all, it's subjective, but when you're talking about, what game would you rather play? I mean, if generically, right, just step back, all of us, and be honest. Step back and think. If you had to play either Strider or Street Fighter 1 for 2 hours, which one would you rather play? Maybe I should have put that in the poll. That should have been the poll question. Which one would you rather play for 2 hours? I think you're probably going to get a pretty big bias towards Strider. There's a little more variety there. It's a platformer. It's different than just another fighter. And it's not like you're comparing Strider to Street Fighter 2 or a version of Street Fighter 2. You're comparing it to Street Fighter, the game that nobody really likes. It's fine to have it there, sort of a salute. Hey, look how far we've come because this game sucks so bad. But it's like, that's the only reason you would have it there as a comparison to look how great this is. My car is okay, but when I park it to like a jalopy, like a rusted out piece of garbage, hey, my car looks great in comparison. So I'm always going to park next to that guy so that my car looks better. But I wouldn't buy that car. I wouldn't buy the rust bucket. I don't want that. No, I want my car. I want something nice. So I want the Strider, but I don't want that cabinet. So it just creates this, it's unnecessary. It's an unnecessary conflict they've created by having these two games. If you make the games the same, the games list the same, okay, well, there you go. You can separate that, and it's one less thing you have to worry about, right? There's other, not issues, but differences. There are other differences. So we have the color of the cabinets. We have that the weird fifth game not being the same, which is kind of weird. Then you also have these differences here. Let me blow these up, get these a little bit bigger. you've got some differences. Now, the differences are going to be the artwork for the most part is like 80% the same, right? Except for two characters. If you're going to go with the Shinku Otherkin on the left, you're going to have Nighthawk and you're going to have Cammy. If you go all the way to the right, you're going to have Guile and you're going to have yeah. So you know, I don't understand this either. I mean, all of them are iconic characters, but E Honda is going to be way more popular. Cammy, there's probably an argument to be made for Cammy, and it's probably more specific to the games themselves. But it's not like those. It's not like Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo doesn't have E Honda. It doesn't have Guile. I mean, I don't understand it. Yes, both. Do they both have Strider? Don't you lie to me. But yeah, it's something I just don't like it. So this is a little bit weird too, and this is not nearly as important as the game for sure. Um, Especially when talking about side art being on the side, you're not going to see it that much. It's just it's fine, is what it is. But I think that the game is definitely the bigger issue. And now let's step back again, and I have one more little thing to point out, and it's going to be the lack of T-molding on the blue cabinet, the one on the left, the Shinku Hadouken, the one on the left. It looks a little more plain when you're talking about that control panel cap, right? That it's not really an extension of the control panel. The control panel is just as wide as the cabinet, but it has these caps, right? These bookends, these black bookends on the left and the right. And on the red cabinet, you can see it outlined with their red edge banding, and it really pops. It really looks good. You can look at it from the side. You can see it. I can tell that it's there. If you look at the left, there is black edge banding, but because it's all blending in, it doesn't really pop. And I think that is an example of a big difference. That's where you can really see the difference. And I think that it just really needs that blue T-molding. It's probably just me. It's probably not a big deal. Most people probably don't even like it or don't even care. But I think that it needs blue T-molding. I'm gonna die on this hill. So there you go. That's kind of where we're at as far as that goes. And unfortunately, the choice is not so simple anymore. It's not just, hey, what do you want, red or blue? It's not. And we got some people that are saying they both look hideous. What was that comment? Comment down. Yeah, here we go. We have Panic Foot Gaming says, good Lord, these things look hideous. So it's a no-go all the way around, But I think the game's list is weird, and I hope that they. It would be nice if Strider was on both. That's what I want. I don't want. I mean, Street Fighter is just it's just kind of a. Listen, I'm sorry. I acknowledge the history of that game, but Street Fighter 1 is not a fun game. It's not fun. It's really weird and chunky, and that's fine. But I don't. If I've got to choose between that and Strider, add Strider. It's so much better. There's so much variety there when you throw that in there. That it is a side scroller, kind of a platformer in a way. So it really adds up the variety, and it makes for an extremely like that cab's like, wow, that that's pretty awesome, because Strider was only available, I believe, in the head-to-head, the sit-down version. It's the only other cabinet that it's been on, I believe. It's not on Big Blue. It's I don't think it was on the other Capcom Legacies. So hold on, where's Jago? Fox, John D already confirmed both have Strider and not Street Fighter 1. Well, then that is awesome. I hope that's the case. And so John, or so Mike B was he was actually calling me butt liquor. Well, that kind of hurts my feelings. So that's good. So now we can take Street Fighter off the list, hopefully. Man, that would be really, and you know what? It kind of makes sense. The confusion kind of makes some sense if the original listing that came out for Arcade 1-Up had Street Fighter 1 on it, because that's originally what it was, right? So maybe Shop Hippo just messed up. I'm going to go back to Shop Hippo real quick and see. I checked that before the show to make sure that listing was still said that. And man, that would be awesome. So then it does actually kind of make it. Well, that would make the choice a little bit simpler, wouldn't it? If you can get past the god awful. Yeah, it's still. Come on, baby. There we go. Internet moving slowly. Yeah, I think that Street Fighter 1 definitely has no place on there. I'm looking it up right now. Going over here. Yeah, unfortunately, it still says Street Fighter on the Shop Hippo listing. So they need to, once again, it kind of reminds me of the old days when we're talking about, oh, it confirmed on Twitter. Okay, so here we go. $2 super chat from Ezekiel Chicago Retro Ranger saying that, yeah, John D confirmed on Twitter Strider is on both Fox. That's awesome. He really should have checked with me before he did that. Not to give John for scolding a firm talking to. Thanks for the 1-9 super chat. Here you go.
Finish him. Sub-Zero wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Fox, it's on John D's Twitter if you want to verify it. No, I trust you. I trust you. But that's good. So that definitely makes this choice. So it does make it a little bit simpler. The only difference is really going to be obviously the color and then the side art. So knowing that live, we broke the story. So the non-story, I guess. So if they're both on there, then that makes it a little bit simpler. So then you're really your negative, not negative. It's going to be your personal preference. It's going to be knowing that Strider's on there instead of Street Fighter. That's freaking awesome. So now you're left with this decision. It's going to be aesthetics. It's just going to be aesthetics. You're going to see these differences here. You know, is Cammy over Guile going to be is that the thing that's going to push you over the edge? Is that going to be the deciding factor? Probably not. Overall, I think it's going to be the color. I think it's going to be, well, it's not going to be the games. It's really just going to be the color. The side art is what it is. The games list is going to be the same. So I think just for me personally, if I was going to get one, and I'm not saying that I'm going to get one, because the biggest thing for me is going to be the screen. What kind of monitor is this going to be? Until I have, and as of right now, John D was not able to confirm if it's BOE. This has got to have a good monitor in it. I don't want to go down this. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole again. Now, Mortal Kombat, and here's the thing about MK30th, right? You had more than just the monitor to consider when you were upgrading to that from the original Midway Legacy. You didn't have Wi-Fi, and you had 2 fewer games, and you had a crappy design. I mean, listen, that cabinet was not comfortable. It didn't look good at all. I mean, in my opinion, I mean, you might have liked it, but I didn't like it at all. And it was uncomfortable, and it was not a good cabinet. I bought it, and as soon as I heard something different was coming out, sold it, got rid of it. And I'm happy with that because I got a much better looking cabinet, and it's more comfortable. But that monitor is an issue. But I had no other options. If this Capcom Legacy cabinet, looking the way it looks, with the games list, we can assume we're going to have an awesome looking marquee and everything. But if it's going to have another monitor, okay, well then if you already have Big Blue, you really got to ask yourself that question: is it worth upgrading? Why would you want to? I mean, why would you want to fight with another monitor that you're maybe going to have to replace? Now, it's not that you have to replace it, but it's tough to deal with that. It's tough to live with that when you're used to BOE, baby. When you're used to BOE looking sexy, and clean, and viewing angles that are great, why would you want to bother with that? Why would you want to fight with that? Again, especially when you can get the majority of these games on other, cabinets that you may already have. With the exception of some of these are bangers. Like the games in yellow and red, I guess, because Strider's on there. They're good games. They're good games, and you're getting Final Fight back, so that's good. There's still a lot there, I think. But that screen is going to it's a big deciding factor. And with all the footage out there now, knowing that what you're going to have to contend with when you're talking about that less than ideal 5.4 screen, a 5.4 monitor, listen, for me, it's BOE or nothing. It's a bigger part of the conversation now. It was always a big part, but it was only a singular factor when upgrading from the much, it's the much lesser legacy when you're talking about that Midway Legacy. That first generation Midway Legacy. It just wasn't there. So there was a lot more to upgrade to consider an upgrade on this cabinet. When you talk about the form factor and the control panel, the marquee and everything else, the games list was awesome. I don't think that that's the case if you've got a Big Blue. If you've got a Big Blue right now, maybe you've got a Big Blue in the first generation Capcom Legacy, there's probably not a lot of reasons to upgrade to this cabinet. Now, if you only have the Capcom Legacy, that first generation, there's still a lot more to like if you decide to upgrade to one of these. You're going to get all the things that I listed. We know if it's, it looks like it's a 1-for-1, same cab shape and everything of that MK30. So you're going to get a much more comfortable control panel by far. A much better looking design, in my opinion. A much better marquee, and you're going to get more games. You're going to get Wi-Fi. You're going to be chasing leaderboards like me on with Rampage. So I think there's a lot more there. If you're just going to go from one legacy to the other, but if you've got Big Blue, the decision is not so clear. Once they confirm that we're going to get a BOE monitor, a beautiful 443 BOE, I think that this cabinet could probably sell, especially when you're talking about, what should be. Does it say the price? I don't think it says the price yet, does it? Let me go back to the website. It should be $499 for these damn things. Let me just double check. Yeah, $499 is indeed the price. So $499 with BOE, it's not even it's almost a no-brainer. It is a no-brainer when you're talking about the first generation legacy. If you have the Big Blue, not so much a no-brainer, but there's definitely a lot there to like. There's a lot of differences between those two cabinets, so there's something there for you to jump into. But that monitor plays a bigger role. So for me personally, the way this sits now, which one am I leaning towards? Not that I'm going to buy it, but I'm definitely leaning towards the Shinku Adoken. Guile is not my favorite character, so I can live without him on the side art. It's not going to hurt my feelings. The blue T molding is something I can fix with some half-inch vinyl tape. I just might do that. But for the most part, that's kind of the way I'm thinking. That's kind of the way I'm leaning. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. And that was topic one. Let's move on to the next topic. Drink them if you got them, because we're switching gears on you, going from Arcade 1-Up to iiRcade. And if you see behind me, if you look in the middle, you see, well, you don't see an iiRcade, do you? You don't see one, even though Fox said he's got one. He's got one ordered. It's on the way. Well, not all of us are special. Not all of us are christened at birth and destined for great things. But there are a couple people in the community that are definitely blessed beyond measure. And two of those people are going to be P-Dubs and Michael B. Hopefully they're still in the chat so they can see that I'm just rubbing it in their eye, just a little bit. Just to kind of just tell them how happy I am for them. But if you pay attention to P-Dubs and Michael B, their social media, their community posts, they're talking about their cabinets that they've already got. They've already got them assembled, and you're going to get their reviews, and that's great for them. I'm so happy. There are a few more cabinets that are going to be available out there for review. I think RGT85 may have one of them, but I'm not sure of whoever else may have them. These are just media. These are for the media people, right? The first just handful were flown over in a private jet. I'm sure that the jet was clad in leather and was surrounded by many leather-clad books. And the wood was rich mahogany. Once again, really happy for you. So happy for you, Michael B. Can't wait for you. Anyway, but you've got that. So they're out there. I think you've got another 20 on the boat now heading over. I was a part of the original 100, the first 100, because and the only reason I know that is because I got the email confirmation saying that I'm getting the hoodie. So that's cool. The hoodie looks pretty good. But I have no idea if mine's coming in the first 20. I have no idea. I do not know. It's a damn shame. But it is what it is, because once again, we're not all blessed like P-Dubs and Michael B. Not mad at all. Not mad at all. So which one did I get? Just as a refresher, this is the one that I got. I've got the Double Dragon. At the time, we were talking about Double Dragon maybe being available from Arcade 1-Up, and then that was kind of going back and forth. And I thought, you know what? Even if Arcade 1-Up comes out with a Double Dragon cabinet, I want to get one of these golds. I'm going to go with this one, and I'm going to just pass on whatever Arcade 1-Up was going to do. And I think for the most part, that would have been a great decision, even if Arcade 1-Up came out with their cab. They obviously didn't. We know about that. But I was able to go up to Chicago, went up to the iiRcade, Brain Trust, the headquarters, and they had a few of these there. And Mike Mike S. I forget I don't know. I want to say his last name, Slivek, I believe. I know I'm probably butchering his last name. I apologize, Mike, if you're watching. But he was very kind. Let me walk around, where they do their live streams and showed me all the cabs. I was able to play one of the golds. Now, it did not have the JBL software in it, which that's all the JBL really is. It's the same speakers. I will say this though, the grill over the speakers, and Mike B, if you're still in the chat, you may agree. The grill over the speakers is really premium. It's like metal. It looks really cool. It's got a cool feel to it. It looks like some kind of premium audio, like Bluetooth speaker or something. Yes, yeah, I know how to spell it, Rainwater, but I don't know how to say it because I've got issues. Okay. I've got problems. But yes, that is how you spell his last name, and not sure how you say it. But yeah, so I was impressed with the build. See, I don't have one. I don't have the first generation iiRcade. I was impressed with the build quality. I was impressed with the way that it felt and that it played. The jukebox feature was pretty cool. Like I said, I didn't have the luxury of experiencing the JBL audio software on the model that I was playing, but yeah, it's I'm looking forward to getting my hands on my version and checking it out. I like the fact that the marquee, and I've shown a picture of this. I was able to kind of drop the back of the marquee. That's the new part of the iiRcade. They never had a marquee section. It's very straightforward and simple up top. You get one LED strip in there. If that's not bright enough for you, you could easily add a little bit more to give it a little more pop. But and I think P-Dubs actually said he had like a little small video. I think it was like a short maybe, where he talked about the top of the arcade just being like a shelf to put stuff on. I can imagine like a really nice topper or whatever, but that's going to be cool. But this is what I'm waiting for. This is what I'm, excited to get, because I just don't have one. But if you've got one, I don't know if you're going to be that excited. Rainwater, if you've got one on the way, Papa Brad, if you've got one on the way, let me know what you think. Are you like super excited? And well, you're an iiRcade fan, so I know you're always super excited. But because you already have one, is your excitement a little bit tempered because you've already got one? I mean, it's basically going to be, for the most part, on the outside, with the exception of the marquee part, it's the same machine overall. Same screen. They've moved a lot of things around inside. You got those ports on the front of the machine. And all these things were reasons why, and I did a video on all the reasons why I got one. Did the pre-order. But when I heard, and I didn't know about the ports at the time, that was something that Mike and I actually talked about in Chicago. I can say that now because, they already talked about it. But when they talked about moving around the guts, the inside of the machine, moving the board from the control panel itself to the back of the monitor, I knew they were doing that for a reason. I knew they were doing that for some sort of swappability. There was going to be some upgrades. There were going to be some changes. You don't just do that just to do it. You do it to make way for potential upgrades. So it's a lot of reasons to get it. Then they added the ports. So the ports are there, USB ports on the front of the machine. That looks really good. I think this is a very important machine for iiRcade. I think this is their first evolution of the product for the most part. They've had other branding, but this is the first. Okay, Papa Brad says, I have one. I got a gold ordered. I am going to be pretty critical. Okay. Watch some reviews in my channel. Okay, good. Okay. Well, I can say this, Papa Brad. You may be a fan, super fan, but you also know what you're talking about because you already got the product. You got the first version. So, no, I look forward to watching your video, buddy. When I get mine, I'm going to give my review too. It'll be a different perspective because this is my first iiRcade product. But going back to what I was saying, I think this is a very important product for iiRcade. This is the first evolution of their product. Different branding on some of their cabinets, but this is the first 2.0, right? They're calling it a gold, but it's sort of like a 2.0 of their product. The ports are there. The look is definitely there. The expandability is, I think, there, with the internal construction being what it is. Are they going to take advantage of it? That's been some of the problems. That's probably I think if you could whittle it all down to one issue with the iiRcade, it's going to be that. Some of those marquee games, some of those bangers, I've heard them called, it's going to be open to interpretation what a banger is. What's a triple A game? I mean, it's brand recognition, sure, but quality. Some of the games are, you've got a lot of quality there when you're talking about some of the games. I got to play some of those in Chicago. I had fun with them. They're definitely quality titles on the iArcade, but to go beyond what they are now, you do need some software. But I think that it's not going to be just bangers or triple A's. That would be great, sure, that'd be awesome. But I think you need to utilize those ports you've been advertising. A lot of people are excited about that, including myself, for the option to expand, because this is something that can set them apart from Arcade One Up. It's a big differentiating factor. It's a way to build out beyond just the cabinet itself. But I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen any movement on that. I haven't seen any light gun games announced. I know they partnered with Glenn, and I'm really excited about that. Glenn's Retro Show, he also has partnered with Sinden, locked up a partnership there. I'm excited. I honestly think they're coming. I don't know. I wasn't given all the information, but I'm sure there's something coming, but I haven't seen a light gun game come yet. Is it going to be part of some kind of bundle, some kind of bigger package? That'd be cool. That'd be cool, but I don't know that. And see, we don't know that. If we could have some sort of announcement, push it out a little bit. Hey, coming in, listen, we talk about, okay, if you're a fan of the PlayStation 5 or really any game at all. But my specific example is going to be, God of War, the new God of War Ragnarok coming out. It's taken forever. Now that we finally have a release date, November of this year, people are losing their minds. Well, but we still got like 5 months. I mean, calm down, everybody. You'll be all right. 4 months, whatever, before that game comes out. But now that we have some sort of date, we have something to look forward to. iArcade could definitely do that. Put together some sort of package. Maybe it's not 100% ready yet, but give themselves a hard deadline. Give these games release dates. It's cool that they come out from time to time. You got to pay attention to their social media, their YouTube channel, and see what's kind of coming out. But if you could have yes, I've heard legend of the PS5. They're out there. Somebody, I don't know. I saw a guy who had one time. It was cool. But if they could do that, if they could give themselves some hard deadlines, hey, listen, we have this coming. Order the new insert shooting game here, and you can order the game, or you can also order, you're going to have a light gun, right? So have some sort of a package available on their website, or a package, coordinate with Glenn and say, hey, go over to Glenn's Retro Show and get the new, whatever package. And it's going to include a download code of the game, plus a Sinden light gun and a holster that you can sort of bolt onto the side. It screws in, maybe it sandwiches between like the control deck itself and the side panel. So you unscrew your control deck, lift it up a little bit, you put the holster on there, kind of just clips on there, and then it sandwiches, you put it back on, tighten it up, you're good to go. So now you got the whole thing, right? You got the game with a download code, you got a Sinden light gun and the holster, and boom, it's all one package, So it's this much for that package. A little bit more if you want a 2-player package, and make it a big bundle and get people excited about it, and throw it out there and say you got a 6-month or whatever window. It's available in December of 2022, and we have something to look forward to. People get excited about it. Talk about the package. Do some things like this to get people looking forward to something, because the way it is right now, from what I understand, and I don't own an iArcade, so I could be totally off, but the way it works right now, you sort of sit around, and then a YouTube video comes out, or you get some kind of an email update, maybe. But to do that, to sort of plan things out, that would be really awesome. That would be really awesome. My God. I was imagining a 6-pack. Listen, I'm not going to flex on it. It was bad. I took my shirt off, and you saw 2 of the 6. I'm just not going to stand up. Come on, relax. So I think that they could do that. They should do something like that to kind of throw some release dates out there and give people something to look forward to. I think they could definitely bundle, now that we're talking about games that require these peripherals. I almost said it right that time, but I got a banner for this because I always mess this up. This word right here, this peripherals. I still don't think peripherals. I'm not saying it right. Anyway, but now we have this games that will necessitate something, bundle it together, work hand in hand with Glenn's, and make it something that's just like one order number, and you call it in, or you do it online, and boom, here it comes, and it's all packaged. It's one box. Here's your iiRcade bundle. Here you go. I think that would be something cool. I would like to see something like that, because right now it seems like, once again, here's this really powerful device that has all the potential in the world, and we just don't know if it's going to be realized. I hope so. Because I got one coming. It's on a boat, maybe. I don't know. I hope so. But anyway, that's my 2 cents about that. I mean, I'm still sort of looking forward to it. I'm a little disappointed I haven't heard of a game coming out like a shooter. But hey, listen, I think it is what it is. Hopefully, eventually those games will come. But until they do, we're just going to kind of be in limbo, hoping and waiting for something bigger than what we got. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about, and a little bit of let's do something. I want to look at something. I want to mention something just really quick. This is not necessarily pertaining to the next topic, but I wanted to bring this up because it's just of the utmost importance. There was an item that it's available for purchase right now, and it is the collector. I can't even say it with a straight face. So the Collectorcade from Arcade 1-Up is available at Best Buy right now. Right now, if you want it, you can jump over there. You can get your hands on one of these for $100. It's so, oh God. So this one's going to come with Pac-Man, Galaga, and who cares? I mean, who cares? Listen, it's fine. I know what they're trying to do, but listen, $100? What, are you serious? $100 for this thing? I don't get it. I did a show a while back talking about, all the different form factors and how this is just not needed. It's not. I fail to see how this is going to make them any money. A impulse buy is like $50 or less. You're in the checkout line and you see this. Oh, I know Pac-Man, and maybe at this point you could say, oh, I know Arcade 1-Up. If you've ever been to a car show, bear with me. If you've ever been to a car show and a guy's got a car, or a girl, I'm not going to judge. Women also have cars and car shows. But if you got a car and you walk by and you're checking out the car and it's awesome, and it's a 1969 Camaro. This looks really good. This is a beautiful Camaro. And you walk around to the front of the Camaro and they got the hood open, right? Because they got all the chrome and everything. And you look on the air cleaner, and what's always on the air cleaner? A model of the car that you're looking at. I don't know why they do it, but it's kind of cool. It's like, okay, oh, it's a 69, Camaro with a 69 Camaro model in the engine bay sitting right there. Like, okay, he's got a model of the car he owns. Cool. Maybe I could see that. He's got a Pac-Man, and he's got a Pac-Man, I don't know, a topper. Maybe this would be like a cool topper, I guess. But for $100, it's kind of nuts. It's kind of crazy. So I just wanted you to know, if you were waiting, if you were, I don't know who the hell you are, but if somebody was waiting to spend $100 on this thing, it's available. It's available. So there you go. All right. So the actual last topic we're going to talk about is a little bit of behind the scenes. I may get in trouble for this one, but I don't care. I don't care. There was a prototype that was supposed to be at the event in California, and it was, I think it was going to be kind of cool. There was a prototype of an item, and I actually sort of called this on multiple occasions, but the first time I ever brought this up was I did a show. Let me swap this out. So this is the thumbnail for the video, and the video was, I put it up in February 4th of this year, and it was talking about, hey, the Pong Pug table. It was on sale for like $3.99 at RC Wiley, and you had to go to, it was a very specific retailer, but if you had one close, it was a great deal. We talked about it, but halfway through that video, I started talking about, this is a cool form factor. I wasn't feeling Pong, Michael B, he's got one. He swears it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I'm like, you don't even have sliced bread because you're in Canada. It's weird. But the more I thought about it, I was digging the form factor, because I had like the head to head. the Street Fighter, the Black Edition, and I just didn't like it. I know it was a little short, but it was kind of weird. It was kind of weird, and I didn't like it, so I sold it. But this thing is like it's utilitarian. It serves a purpose. It's, yeah, bagged milk was phenomenon. It took the your town by storm. I'm sure it did. but but this was kind of a cool form factor. So in the video, I was like, you know what would be kind of cool is if maybe you did something else besides Pong. And you can tell by the thumbnail, I was like, what about if you could just do one game? Wouldn't it be kind of cool to have like Super Puzzle Fighter in this form factor? Would that be kind of cool to just kind of, because the idea is it's very casual and it goes in the arcade or the man cave or whatever. It's kind of off to a side. And ideally, you would have one piece of plexi over the whole thing. That's not the case, unfortunately. But ideally, you would have one piece of plexi over the whole damn thing. And you could just be sitting there. And Puzzle Fighter is super simple. It's a head-to-head puzzle game. You could play that. That would be kind of cool. And it would be 2-player, not 4-player. But that was kind of my idea. The thing that was supposed to be at the event was a Pong Pub table that had Marvel versus Capcom on it. The controls were underneath, similar to like the 2-player head-to-heads. So the controls weren't on top of the table. I don't know if I like that. I kind of like the idea of the controls being on top of the table. The point that I made in my video was that you're kind of closer to that 17-inch screen. You know they're going to use a 17. That's what they always do, and that's fine. But I thought that you got a little bit closer if the controls were kind of up top. You're not pushed away and your hands down, you know. But if you look at it, the circle is a little bit smaller, I think. So even maybe the controls sort of being under, you still might be able to get a little bit closer to the screen. So that might not be that bad. On top, underneath, could go either way for me. I don't know. But yeah, so they were going to have this form factor running in VC. That would have been cool. Now, for whatever reason, that prototype didn't make it. It didn't make it to the show, but it's out there. It exists. And we know that they have a lot of prototypes of stuff that they're not necessarily going to make. A lot of things get, prototyped that we haven't seen yet. I have it on decent authority that, they made a prototype of House of the Dead. But what they did is they took a Big Buck Hunter, they skinned it, and they wanted to get some kind of visual. They wanted to see what it looked like. I don't know if they got the thing running or not, but they definitely did that. They've also done other things to kind of, they just do their practical exercises. Let's build something. Let's see what it looks like. Let's skin it. Let's step back, take a look at it, and see if it's something that, anybody's really excited for. If you can pull that thing off. I do a lot of that when I'm talking about some of my simple mods that I do. Let's kind of build it out and see what it looks like. But I like this idea. I like taking this form factor and doing something different with it. So here's a couple things that maybe you could do to take that beyond just what it is. Now, we're talking about 2-player games. We're talking about basically take all those head-to-head cabinets that they made, the sit-down cocktails, and turn them into pub tables. Have pub table versions of all of them. I don't care. I'm not going to be a snob, an MVC snob. Do Mortal Kombat. I don't care. Throw it on there. But because you have 2 players, you're going to have some dead space on the left and the right. Now, I think what John said, he had like cup holders built in. That's kind of cool. But what about wireless chargers for your cell phones? These things run off 12 volts. Usually like a cell phone wireless charger drops the voltage down. Household voltage, they drop it down to like 12 volts, Usually 5 volts is a little too low for fast charging, but they'll drop it to 12. So 12 volts is what they're using natively anyway to run everything else. So why not have 2-player setup across from each other? Cup holders is kind of, it's a table. You just put the cup on it. But if you had wireless chargers, maybe one on each side, and you just put it on there, and it's kind of a way to take up some of that real estate with something that's really useful. Would it be worth the extra money? I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe not, but I think that that's something that if you had one of these, you could add that pretty easily. If you go on Amazon, you can find these things for $20-$30, depending on the type of, charger that you want, but it's actually built into the actual tabletop. It's flush mounted, and you just have a small wire you would run underneath. And if Arcade1Up did it, they could do it in a way that it's sort of seamless and flush, because that's not a total circle. When you buy one of these, it's not a complete circle. It's 2 halves you put together. So they could route a groove in the middle that hides the wire for the wireless charger. So the wireless charger would look, if you look underneath, you couldn't see the wire because it would actually be in a routed groove that's made in the two halves. The two halves would actually have a routed relief that you could just route your wire through. The wire would just route through there and then go into the center of the cabinet and plug into everything else. Because we don't need marquees, obviously. There's no marquees involved. There's no other, outlets that are required. So I think some wireless chargers would be cool. If they don't want to do wireless chargers because of the cost, how about just USB ports for charging your cell phone? That's simple. And that's fairly cheap when you talk about, the cost. So just add a couple USB ports for cell phone charging. So now you have something, you walk up to it. Maybe you're not into the game, but you plug in your cell phone. Okay, oh, great. We're hanging out down here. We're in the man cave. Everything, all the plugs are full because we got arcades down here. There's nowhere to plug in my cell phone. Oh, hey, there's a USB over here. Plug it in. And maybe you're not into the game, but you plug it in. Maybe you plug in your phone, like, oh, this is kind of cool, and you play that. I think that would be a good idea. I think that would be kind of cool. The USB port doesn't necessarily have to be inside the tabletop sticking up, but it could. It could just be on the side, maybe. But I think that would be kind of a way to, you need some functional furniture when you're talking about a man cave, when you're talking about an arcade. You need that. You need to be able to kind of have something, and to have a table in a corner is great. If it also has a game built into it, that's awesome. If it has some USB chargers, that's even better, right? Whether they're the wireless chargers or not, if they're just ports, that's still something kind of cool. And there you go. I could even see whether Arcade One does this or not. You got those tall side panels. If you're talking about the legs that sort of make up, that space the table up, you got a lot of real estate that they've got, art on, and that's fine. The games list is on there. That's cool. But what if one of those was lit? Maybe the one side that faces out was lit up. That'd be kind of cool. Hey, Mike, what's going on? How you doing, man? Good to see you. That would be kind of cool. I'd rather see the headphone jack replaced with a USB port. I think a lot of people would, but you could probably have both, right? You could still have both. You could have your headphone jack if you wanted, so that functionality is there, but have the USB port for whatever you want to use it for, right? Any kind of charging, functionality you want. So that was supposed to be there. You were supposed to see that. That was going to be there. It didn't make it for whatever reason. It's kind of a shame because I think that would be really cool. That would be, another thing that the people that actually were able to make it to the live event, got to sort of get a sneak peek behind the curtain. Maybe they got to take advantage of a lot of deals. They were able to get their cabinet and take it home that day, and that's awesome. Everybody else online, we're gonna have to wait. So they had that advantage, but I think it would be really cool if some of these prototypes maybe made it out, for some testing. And maybe they don't have all the art on them. Maybe it's just super plain. Maybe it's just boring. But maybe they set it out at an event, and maybe people get to play with it. And maybe we get some spy photos, like cars. New cars are coming out. They have like spy photos. It's obviously the car, but it's kind of covered up. Maybe have some of these show up in the wild from time to time. They have a couple physical locations. It would be cool to see them shop, some of their ideas, some of their prototypes. Have one at the Miami complex. I think they have one. They only have the one physical store in Miami. But if you have it there, have it just show up there. Have a location, have an event like they had before in California, and have something out there. Whether it comes to fruition or not, whether it comes to market or not, it's still a great way to engage the community, to help us kind of see where your head's at. What do you think we really want? And you're going to see that where they spend their money. And it's not always just the cabs that they release, but it's also some of the prototyping they're doing. It's some of the things that that you see them shopping ideas. You see where their head's at. And sometimes that can be a good thing. Sometimes that can be a bad thing. But I think the main part is going to be that maybe we can catch some of these things, some of these bad ideas before they happen. Like the collectorcades, but maybe they can get that feedback initially and say, hey, this is worth doing, and this is worth scrapping. Would you look at that?
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Unfortunately, we are done. I'm done with my drink, so we're done with the show. But we got to take a look at the poll real quick. So, just as a reminder, the question here: 223 votes. I want to thank everybody for voting. That's awesome. Your voice was heard for sure. The simple question was this: based on what you know right now, which, as we saw in this live stream, was changing. Now we know that the Strider is going to be on both of them, which is good. But based on what you knew at the time that you answered this poll, which Capcom Legacy would you most likely buy? Yoga Flame came in at a sad 8%. 8% for Yoga Flame. The Shinku Hadouken came in at only 37%, which means that the third option, neither, came in at a whopping 55%. Not a lot of, well, at least in this live stream here, not a lot of excitement for these cabinets. I think another poll question would be, is it the art? Do you think it's the art on the side that's kind of hurting it? Or is it maybe a little bit of Capcom fatigue? Maybe a little bit of, hey, listen, you've got so many Capcom cabinets out there. It's running like, second place to Pac-Man. It's like there's 5,000 Pac-Man cabinets. Maybe we're getting a little bit too much Capcom. Maybe people want something new, something different, whether it's a different brand's legacy, whether it is just a different game altogether. I think maybe, just maybe, we're getting a little bit tired of all this. I think there's a lot there. I talked about it when we talked about those Capcom cabinets. I think there's a lot there to like, but when you're talking about Big Blue being out there already, that's a fly in your ointment. It's not just from Legacy 1 to Legacy 2. So they kind of have a hurdle to overcome. And I think that probably sticking with that midway size, the midway shape, definitely didn't help them. I think it may have actually hurt them. But anyway, thank you so much for stopping by, hanging out with me. Subscribing to the channel is really awesome. We've seen some channel growth, and listen, I got to thank every single one of y'all for making that possible. I hope you're happy that I kept my shirt on this stream. That's the norm here. We keep the clothing on. But anyway, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel, everybody. I hope you enjoy what's left of your weekend. Don't work too hard next week. I want to see you back here next Sunday. So hang in there. Don't work too hard.